Hi again, it's me, Cinnamon. I'm a 25-year-old working a corporate job who loves all things personal finance, especially budgeting, and today I'll be budgeting my first paycheck of September. You can see my ready to assign amount here, which is $6,951.69. I have a lot of overspending, some of which is expected. I just cleaned up my budget. I was watching other people's budget videos while doing that. That's my favorite time to watch budget videos. It just feels like I'm budgeting with friends, which is something that I feel like, I don't know, wouldn't really happen for me IRL. My friends are not super big into budgeting. Even my few friends who are into money are more so into making lots of money, more so than tracking and reducing their spending. So, yeah, I don't know. I do understand that mentality to an extent because I also am super focused on making more money, which is how I made these friends in the first place. But there's something that just feels right about budgeting. There's something that just feels right about really taking time to make a financial decision and not let that aspect of your life just happen to you. And I think something that's been really powerful about the season I'm in with budgeting is that I am dedicating time in my day now to really think about how I can use money to make my life better. I think part of that is because I've hit some financial goals. Well, actually, guys, I've been watching this number like a hawk. I am not proud to say I usually do not check my Empower so often, but I don't know what I saw that I think after I got my stock payout, I was like, oh, I'm actually pretty close to 500K. Maybe I'll get there by the end of the year. And I don't remember what I saw, but I see I'm actually very close to getting there. And I was just like, oh my God, maybe I'll get there by the end of the month. And I'm just watching this number like a hawk because I just want to cross the threshold. This is my net worth in my investment accounts. I've already hit 500K just in general if you count my checking account, but I generally do not like to count that because I don't know, that's savings. That's not building wealth for me. I know what's in my investment account is actively growing and working towards the life I want for my future. My future, I guess, is a more concise way to say that. So, yes, I've been watching that, and the question that I'm asking myself is I have a 500K net worth. Can I finally live my rich life? And I said my age at the beginning of the video, but I'm 25. So I think that just contextualizes the question a little bit more because this isn't oh, I'm just on track for retirement. I am beyond on track for the retirement that I'm looking for, where I'm targeting a $3 million fire number. I'm very on track for that. And I'm just still not spending money. And, I watch Ramit videos. Ramit Sethi, he makes the I Will Teach You to Be Rich podcast where he talks about your rich life. And I watch almost every episode. I took a break for a bit, but I, got caught back on. And the last episode with LaShawn was so powerful. If you guys haven't watched that episode, I will link it below. But this episode featured a woman, LaShawn, who, in my eyes, has actually been given kind of a gift in a way, although she, had basically lost her job through a return to work mandate that didn't meet her health needs. In a way, it also put her on this track of early retirement, and I think that would be a blessing for her because she has a terminal illness and a few years to live, according to doctors. Anyway, I'm giving a lot of context for the video, but something that happened in the video that was really powerful to me and to Rami, according to him, was that she was like, well, I guess now I can start letting my kids order drinks when we go out to dinner. And this is a woman with over $1 million net worth. She also has a husband. I can't remember his name. But I was like actually shocked. There's so many times in Ramit videos where they're wealthy people who underspend, and Ramit is like, you could be living a bigger life. And I rarely agree with him because sometimes to me, it feels like I'm okay with my life. I actually don't need to be traveling more, or buying nicer clothes, or doing all of these things. It's not what's bringing me joy. What's going to bring me joy is hitting my goals, and not my financial goals, but my self actualization goals as a creative and as someone who wants to build multiple businesses. Like, that's what would really satisfy me. It's not in spending, it's in creating that brings me joy. So I rarely agree with him. But this time, it actually moved me because this was someone with a clock, and she cared so deeply about her family. You could see that. I'm almost on the verge of tears, guys. This episode to me was just crazy, but still, she couldn't wrap her head around, before that point, potentially spending more money on drinks while her family was going out for dinner. I could, for the first time, see someone who was truly living a life smaller than what they seem to want for themselves just because of money. And that hurt. And before this episode, I was already in the works of trying to think more creatively about how I can use this resource I have, money, to drive my life, my family's life, just forward in a more positive direction faster. I think that's the thing I'm really starting to see about money. It's not about it making things happen for me, it's more so about it making things happen for me faster. Um, because I've always been resourceful. I was always going to get it done. It's just about getting it done faster and easier. Anyway, guys, I just be talking. I just be talking. I have like opened this video and done no budgeting, but I felt that it was so important to open with that because I want you to understand my mentality when I'm going into this budget and as I've been spending. And again, it's really about, when will I truly let myself feel free? And that doesn't mean I'm buying things that don't matter to me. I need to start truly interrogating myself to think creatively about, okay, but what is it that I do want? Because I'm so quick to say no about the many things people will naturally present to you to spend on, but I know there are things that I do want. And if this is a resource that could help in any way, I need to start thinking creatively about that. And I haven't ever done that. I never had a real reason to train that part of my brain. There's no part of my brain that's ever thought, how can I use money to solve a problem for me? Because I never had money. So it was really always like, how can I solve this problem without money? And I'm so adept at that skill now. I haven't practiced the other skill, and I need to start solving my problems in new ways. Anyway, ramble done. Let's get into my budget. I probably just screamed into this mic. First, I'm going to cover my overspending. Oh, taxes. So I need to do a updated like ynab video. I actually am trying to get my boyfriend on ynab. He is like not using it yet. I can tell he's using my ynab. Yeah, but I'm trying to get him on ynab, and I was like explaining things to him, and he like is down and interested in the software. But I was like, oh, I need to have a very tight like 10-minute video where I go through my way of using ynab. um yeah, I just think it's interesting, and I think it would resonate with people, in not just like a similar financial position to me, but generally like who do want to have a fairly relaxed but deeply grounded in the numbers budget. Even though I'm obsessed with budgeting, I think my style of budgeting is actually fairly relaxed. Okay, anyway, underfunded. Look at that. So relaxed. Just press a button, but so powerful because that button I just pressed has helped me now come tax time, because I have in this software every type of tax I've paid, and I can reconcile those numbers against my W 2. I can use that to forecast how much estimated taxes I have to pay by the January 15th deadline before to avoid getting a penalty. So, one button, very powerful. Okay, next, I know I have overspending in my investments. Again, well, that was the wrong button actually. I shouldn't have pressed that button. I should have pressed reset available amounts. But again, 1-2 button click, and here I can track like how on track I am for maxing these things out, and it keeps me from having to go into the work portal. That sucks. You guys know those work portals always suck. But I can see, okay, here is the amount contribution limit for the year. Here's what I've done so far. Here's what I have left to go. If I want to contribute faster, contribute slower, see when I'll be done contributing, like based on my rate, I have all the information I need to do that right here. So, okay, let's keep going. I have 2 overspent categories. These are in my normal spending categories, so my core spending and my singing fund. So I'm not going to cover the overspending with my ready to assign. That is going to be done with my existing money. What I will do with my ready to assign is plan for the month ahead. Again, really relaxed budgeting system. I just have a single next month's category. It keeps me from having to deal with all of the chaos and weird math that happens when you actually go into the next month in ynab. I think the software is very cool, but there are some things that are not intuitive about it, and it only gets more complicated when you go into this next month. Because as you can already see, I'm in this next month, but it says I have $55. Oh, but I need $55, but I know I always need $55 every month. So it's like here you have a view that's telling you an amount that's in here, but it's not contributed to this month. So again, I don't know. To me, I just feel like that makes things weird. I just pre-calculate, and you can use your next month to, get your targets to guide you in setting up this number and this target. I pre-calculated it, put it into one category, and then I'm done. This is not my tight 10-minute video. Okay, this is my messy 10-minute video. What do I do next? Next, I have to set aside money for my sinking funds. Again, another thing that I do that is done to kind of make ynab simpler is I have 2 types of sinking fund categories. So I have my general sinking fund categories, which helps me more so track things, and then I have my specific sinking fund categories because ynab doesn't let you like really easily quickly make subcategories and things like that. So I basically have like these very loose subcategories that I just all group here, and then when I'm done I can delete it, and I know that this is where stuff goes in to get deleted. And when it's deleted, I already have a plan for where I'm going to reassign that deleted category, so that takes that like burden off when you're dealing with specific categories if you already pre-plan how things get divided up. I actually usually write where things will go, but when it's obvious to me, I don't write it. Okay, so I put 1,400 towards my general sinking funds, and you're just like, where are you getting these numbers from? Again, I'm intense on the budgeting, but when it actually comes to the execution, I keep it very simple. I pre-calculate all of these numbers at the beginning of the year. So like when I come into my budget, I don't have to think and like confuse myself all the time and use a lot of brain power, and that's why I feel like my videos are boring. I just follow the plan. So yeah, I need to do an updated video. Okay, cool. And I have $167, $64 left, and that is going to go into my next category that I save from, which is my community chest. This has a target of $1,000. Oh my god, I can't type. But I'm just going to put this here now, and I'm not going to reassign from holding until I get this to $1,000 because it just makes it easier for me to see. And the reason I don't add a target here is because, again, ynab's weird. Like, I want a target that is what I pre-populate with, but I know I have these sub-targets that I'm going to divvy up differently every month. So I don't add a target here because I guess it kind of annoys me when says I need to fund something that I've like already funded at a time when I needed to fund it. You can snooze things, they added that feature. But I think that's just like a kind of poor workaround for the problem, because I think snoozing should be only used really when a bill that was supposed to happen no longer happens for whatever reason, but or there's something you've like intentionally underfunded in a rare case. But if you're consistently like having a category that you are using for holding, you shouldn't need to snooze it. That's my opinion. Anyway, I'm getting like my product manager hat on. Hee hee hee. I could say a lot about product managers. I'm a software engineer. The beef is real. And I'm living like an all out war at work right now, actually, but I'll keep it cute. Okay, that's all for the budgeting. Like, my actual budgeting is very, very chill. And I think keeping it chill just makes it easier for people to get into ynab. And I need to communicate that better on my channel. Now that I feel like I have more grounding in not just my budget, but really like my investments. Like, I want to have my channel be less focused just on the nitty gritty of my finances, but really helping more people get into ynab. And God, I don't want to say making my own software, but I wish ynab was a little bit more open source and I could just be in that product room and just guide them. Okay, what next? So I still have two overspent categories. How do I handle this? Let's see. This is like, again, just another problem I have with ynab. It's nice that you have them focused, but now I don't know the categories where I have money. If only I would love if this focus view didn't hide the other categories, if it like highlighted it in an interesting way. I don't know, if it genuinely like focused, like maybe these were blurred out and I would only see them on hover, but these would always be visible. Guys, I'm not saying my design is perfect. This is something I'm just riffing right now, but to me, that's the true definition of a focus view. Let me know what you think. Okay, so yeah, I saw those, but obviously, like, I have to go back to my all tab so I can figure out where I'm going to take money to cover these. So, oh, I did something wrong. Okay, the one thing I did wrong is also ynab's fault, actually, because I have reimbursement categories that I don't send back to the initial category because I like to track them as income, because some of them get taxed as income and I need to track my income correctly in this view to help me with my taxes. So, because of that, my reimbursement for my phone bill of $55, I am not actually supposed to use that in my next month budgeting flow, which, if you noticed, I actually keep in order. That's just a small thing to make. That's just a small thing to make ynab better for you. Anyway, I'm supposed to use that to reimburse myself. So I actually am supposed to put that $55 in this month's holding. And that is a very easy category for me to cover my overspending with. So I'm going to cover eating out with this month's holding. And what happened here? Somehow I'm like underfunded on my eating out categories. I think part of that is because I haven't been filing all of my work reimbursements. I just recently did that. But I have like targets here now, and I need to figure out how to actually fill them and why they're not actually filled. Anyway, that is going to be more so the next month problem, but that's something I need to call out to myself because I have targets here now. And I can delete target needed because I should be giving myself $120 a week for groceries. And that is exactly what I'm doing. So this is going to be a problem again. Okay, I'll think about that offline. Um, my next category is a general singing fund. So, as part of figuring out what I could do to make my life progress faster, I have like barely done my room. I know that's something I started really caring about when I made ynab, but then I just saw how expensive furniture was. And I was like, I don't want to do this, and I don't plan on living here for that long. I've lived here for 3 years. And the second year I lived here, I started dating my boyfriend, and I was like always at his house. So I was not invested in my space. Now we're doing long distance. I'm back in my room, and I'm like, this room is not functional for me. I need to think about how this can be functional for me. And part of that means buying things. And that means buying organization things, which I actually have a particular aversion to buying because of all of those like TikTok organization videos that are actually the most like overconsumption videos, right? Like people are buying all these organizers to like pack 50 hand sanitizers, and it's just like, just buy one. And I feel like I often associate the need for like organizers and storage solutions with just having too much stuff. And I cataloged my stuff, and I don't have that much stuff. I could definitely get rid of stuff, but I couldn't even figure out what to get rid of because I can't see all of like my hair products at once to notice that sometimes I have like multiple of like a thing because I just like can't find something, so I'll have to buy it again. Or I have like multiple pads and tampons like packs because I will I have a small purse and I carry almost nothing in it. And then I will like need to buy like emergency supplies, and then I can't just buy like an individual one. So I have to buy a whole pack. And I just had packs upon packs upon packs. So there's clearly something about my life that like was fundamentally disorganized. And even without having that much stuff, I needed to buy organizers. And yeah, so far, not bad at all. I've bought only $188 worth of organizers. Okay, I dig it. Who in that TV show was saying I dig it? I watched a show where someone was saying I dig it, but I can't remember the show now. Or a movie? I can't remember. Anyway, that is a start. And it's like, yeah, I'm not buying new clothes. I'm not buying all of these things, which I will do at the point. I actually need to buy new clothes to like make getting ready every day just like better, and also like help me feel more connected with myself and intrigued in my day. Like that is something I do need to do, but first I need to have the structure in my room to support the new things, and that's what I'm getting at. Okay, lots of talking. I have been building up this holding category because I have been thinking intentionally about how to spend money. If you hear all that laughter, that's my roommate having fun without me. One of my roommates. Anyway, because I have a holding category, when it's time to cover like overspending, it's pretty easy. I'm thinking, am I going to buy more? Probably. So I'm going to move $300. I'm obsessed with the number 30 if you like haven't noticed. I don't know where it came from. I feel like when I started budgeting, like $20 wasn't enough to like buy a thing. I'd always have to like round to like 22, 25. So it was like 30. I don't know. I think that's it. But now I love the number 30. So yeah. Oh, and look, that made my holding an even 8,000. So that's nice. I also have the discretionary category. I'm supposed to be assigning some money out to my artist date category. I'm actually doing one tomorrow. I kind of want to bump this up to $60 per week, which is really high, but I think it's just going to give me more flexibility. And so I'm going to send 240 to my artist date category. And that's got me set for the month. Okay. Am I foreseeing any other overspending? I think not. I think everything is going to be chill going forward. I just need to figure out my grocery categories, like these being yellow and not hitting the targets and having no plan for how I'm going to hit the targets is concerning. Worst comes to worst, I will pull from my holding category, but this should already be, in fact, but I should have already been covering this with my next month's holding, and over time, if I'm having to deplete around $600 a month from my holding category, it's just not going to be sustainable. So I'm going to revisit my notes on how I plan on making this work the first time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Tell me if you guys watch Ramit videos. This is like my first time kind of asking for feedback. I really don't do the like and subscribe thing. I feel so nervous saying like subscribe because I don't like being known. Like, I'm like, oh my god, don't subscribe. Like, I'm scared. Like, I like how small my channel is. I like how chill the standards are on this channel. So I'm like scared to tell people to subscribe. Like, I don't plan on getting better. I don't plan on improving my quality of like production. But I do hope to make better content in my content, if you get what I'm saying. The form of my content will not improve, but the content of my content will, hopefully. Okay. Anyway, goodbye, and I hope you have a great day.